Happy Independence Day, everyone. Greetings to the people of the world, and especially in America, the only place ever signified for freedom, liberty, and justice for all. I'm going to tell you a few things that need to be said. This has to do with our lives and our future, the future of the world, and our environment. By the end of this, you may not like me for what I'm saying, but it's the truth, and you know this. Afterwards, I'm going to tell you who I am and why you should have listened to me. Many of us are on edge and not content with the current situations, and when we walk outside, we could all point the finger of judgment and blame at each other. I'll start by saying that there are many of people that are members of gangs that exist among us that wear necklaces with symbols, hats, and badges, and they're all the same. Corporations control your government and our government, and ultimately control your way of life and your health, and now your minds, to a degree that leaves many people blind and confused. There are agencies connected to courthouses that are connected to offices of legislature and government, where people just like you and I are sitting at desks signing papers against their neighbors and their children and families who they work with and go to school with and spend leisurely time with. Some are even in the same family. Their policy enforcement agencies are validating men and women to burn up resources on your efforts as they roam the streets with guns, and they put people in jail because they don't meet a financial criteria. Many of these people are veterans that claim they fought for our freedom and liberty and justice for all. They gang up together and they render each other exempt at the force of intimidation, violence, threats, and taxation. And we all know that even if there is explicit evidence to prove someone committed a crime that injured or killed someone, they will walk free because they have finances. They have implemented the Bar Association on the inside, and they force you to get bar-certified attorneys to represent you that won't let you free and are only willing to bargain with your life so they could make a paycheck. All while city and county and state agents, along with policy officers and their families, enjoy comfortable lives without financial stress as their kids and families sit in schools and on playgrounds next to your kids and families who don't have enough funds to eat healthy, clothe themselves, or be free from the threat of being taken to jail for something as simple as a $26 piece of plastic. They are hypocrites, and they are pirates and thieves. Then they have manipulated and used people that come over here from other places and don't acknowledge and assimilate themselves to our way of life as they follow orders in a system that oppresses us all. Believe me, I care about everybody. Animals that are supposed to have free will are being processed and conditioned with chemicals in a way that is promoting disease and anguish in our lives because they have been turned into the food and sustenance we need to continue to be healthy and keep from starving, while corporations are outlawing seed-bearing crops. People and animals are treated like property and merchandise because of paperwork that has been blindly accepted and funded by most of you. If you're too busy or confused and are tired to challenge something like a simple traffic ticket that is unfair, you are feeding the monster and making it stronger. Think about it. While someone is getting a seatbelt ticket, or a bicycle rider is getting a ticket for not having a light or wearing a helmet, a motorcycle drives by and the rider does not have to wear a helmet. In a single grocery store, you can buy cigarettes, alcohol, and prescription drugs, and people are sitting in jail for weed and mushrooms. If you walk into certain department stores, you have to have an identification to get a bottle of paint, while muriatic acid lacquer thinner, and paint thinner, and bug sprays are sitting up on shelves freely available. There are people who do absolutely nothing wrong and offensive that become victims of circumstance and economic discrimination, and they are sitting in jail and losing their jobs while their families struggle and starve with the threat of becoming homeless, while representatives of religious groups that have office in these jails and courthouses are giving away Bibles and preaching about what is right and just. A police officer will shoot your family member, dog, or pet for no reason, and when you protect yourself from their dog and get beat up by the officers, you are thrown in jail for battery on an officer. In some places, you can't even grow your own garden or collect rainwater. It goes on and on. You're damn right it's not fair, and I could go on and on about these hypocritical narcissists in situations who get their rocks off and load their pockets on an ego trip with a force of power. They are playing with our lives. This year, I'll be 45 years old, and I'm proud of the young people and the old people who have already been here for quite some time. You see what I'm saying. I'm just a private natural man in the living flesh and flowing blood. I'm a free-spirited artist and a leaping gnome. But I see what's going on. In 2013, a police officer came into my life with aggression, and I was accosted by him and other members of his police. I had committed no crime, and I had a right to be where I was, and there was no reason for him to come into my life. After they arrested me and kept me in jail and found out that I had no previous record, the state's attorney devised a malicious prosecution to try and exhaust me and oppress me. Bar member attorneys wanted to give me time in jail and put me on probation so they could attack my standing as if I was a piece of property and a commodity. I decided that I was not going to be a pussy like most, and I was going to defend myself because I knew the truth and I needed to do what was right. This is an American liberty, and with great power comes great responsibility. I was placed before a judge who was a veteran, and I was told I was not in court to my face. He then placed a bounty on my head that would allow the state of Florida to send police looking for me for nearly 6 months. During this threatening process of exhaustion and terrorism against me, the state used clerical errors that signified me as an offender, that I was driving on a suspended license, and a veteran who is now a police officer hunted me down and took me to jail even though there was proof existing to affirm otherwise. Once they had me in the grasp of the court system in a different county in the same state, Broward County dropped the false charges created by that state's attorney who was claiming qualified immunity along with the county and state. While administrating the matter by myself in an honorable and diplomatic way, to my benefit and grace as being an American and living in America, I was sabotaged within the St. Lucie court system by a judge who was reelected after being jailed for driving under the influence, causing accidents, possessing an unprescribed bottle of prescription pills, and putting up a scuffle with local police officers. I defended myself because it was the right thing to do as an American, and there was nobody standing by me at that time. Not even a witness during this point in time. They were scared, ignorant, or blind. I stood in a courtroom surrounded by policemen that were American Indians, black, white, males and females, Hispanics, mothers and fathers, and veterans. And I was judged by mothers and fathers and sons and daughters, ultimately forced to sign papers that were not correct to record, and I was thrown in jail with violent people and actual criminals who had hurt others. The assistant state's attorney that was handling the case against me at this time stated that their preferences were to give me 30 days in jail, and the judge decided to give me 45. I was released on good behavior after 32 days, and I only had 2 hours of sunlight and fresh air, and I was forced to consume bad food that was not agreeing with my body, and I feel degraded from this till this day. My point is this: as I go through my days and I look around and I listen to the people that are around me and you and in this country, I realize that being an American is a state of mind that has no borders. Being an American is a state of mind that exists because freedom and liberty and justice for all is signified by this country and to the rest of the world, and everyone knows it, and that's why people are still fighting and risking their lives to come here. America is not defined by being part of a clique or a group or a gang or a corporation, and it cannot be signified by race, color, or ethnicity. There are many people unlike myself who have not been punched in the face with reality yet. There are many people that can't keep their composure, or have someone depending on them, or have something to hide that weakens them and their standing to be able to defend themselves and see that we are in a great place and this is still a great time of opportunity for change. This exists in America right now. I've done my job. Most veterans and presidents can't stand next to me in the same shining armor that I possess now. Police officers certainly can't, and neither can state's attorneys or judges, because all of our freedom lies in their hands. And like I said, with great power comes great responsibility. Who is responsible for us? I'm here to tell you that the future is yours, and the time is now to take into consideration what your life is worth and what your time is worth and what is worth fighting for that is real. Many people are very fortunate and lucky. I started off that way. I'm just afraid that it's going to happen to you if it hasn't happened already, and it's only going to keep getting worse if you don't think about how lucky you are to be alive in this world today, especially if you are in America. I have ideas, and I have solutions, and I have methods to change the circumstance, but I'm tired. Now it's your turn. That's all I have to say for now. Happy holidays. God bless you all.
What they